Welcome back, everybody, to Spread Out Sports. We are here doing an SOS After Dark. It's been a little bit. We've been filming some other stuff. We had to post an old one because we haven't been filming in a little bit. We are actually joining you watching the third quarter of the Packers-Eagles game, praying for an Eagles win. But
yes, sir.
I am Ben Rago. I am here with my co-host, Alex Kronberg. Alex, who are you sitting with?
Well, I'm sitting with one of the regulars of the SOS After Dark, and that would be Yash Sayal. Would you like to say hello to the people once again, Yash?
Ladies and gents, it's my fourth time back
I think
here.
I think it's number 4 for Yash.
Let me tell you, every time it gets a little better.
No, legit though, it does.
Yeah.
I see the improvement every single time
Agreed.
I come back on.
No, absolutely.
1% every day. 1%.
No, that's true, bro. And then again, we have our guest back for his second episode of SOS After Dark, Mr. Colin Schmidt. Say hello.
What's going on, guys? Once again, thank you so much for having me.
Of course,
and,
happy to
I'm
have
excited
you.
to be here, as I said the last time, and I'm hoping that we can get some good talks flowing. I'm sure we can.
Yeah, no, we've got a lot to talk about with the Bears-Redskins game that just happened on Monday Night Football. So let's quickly fucking give our shout-outs here, Rags. Who you got to give your shout-out to?
Shout out to, I just want to give shout out to entire Bears. I shouldn't even say that every time because I want to just shout every player. LA Beast and I think that's about it. I think that's all my shout outs. LA Beast and Your Mom's House podcast. New podcast to listen to. It's hilarious.
What is it? Your Mom's House?
It's called Your Mom's House. It's with a comedian named Tom Segura and his wife Christina Pajitsky. They're both comedians and it's fucking hysterical. That's my shout out.
Okay. Maybe I'll give it a watch.
I'm trying to change it up, keep it new every single time.
No, I like it. You need a new podcast every once in a while. Get some inspiration maybe from them. I've got a couple of shout-outs myself. First would be, please follow our Twitter at SOS.
Yes.
Spread Out Sports, capital S, capital O, capital S.
Did you just shout yourself out right there?
Yeah, I mean
that's illegal.
Why is that illegal?
Shout out
we're not
SOS.
we're not posting it in the YouTube comments on every sports
comment,
video.
Subscribe.
Yeah, just go to
retweeting
every
our own
first
stuff.
take video and be like, Spread Out Sports. No, we're not about that. But please follow our Twitter. It takes a second. It's free. Would really help us out, and we appreciate every single one of you that do give us a follow.
Yes.
And then I've got my normal shout-outs as per usual. Mr. Zach Levine, Mr. Lowry Markkinen, and of course Derek Martell Rose, who just released his new book and he's actually doing a book signing in Chicago this weekend.
Ooh.
I was hoping that would be something realistic I could do. Unfortunately, it's not. But shout out to all my main guys. Yash or Colin, you got any shout-outs you want to give? I mean, even a person, a team, company.
I for sure have a shout out, and it's gonna go a little with the topic that we're going to be going through tonight, and that's going to be Mr. Clinton Dix. Okay, that's my shout out.
I love it.
Anything Bears related, I have to give it to them. But had quite the homecoming game in Washington, and I couldn't have liked it anymore. I wasn't expecting it. I was a little skeptical of him coming to the Bears this season in the offseason, but that proved to me he's here ready for business, and he's here to support guys like Kyle Fuller and the rest of our secondary.
Definitely.
And I love it.
It's funny because we were just talking the other day. You literally asked me, is Clinton Dix going to get an interception this year? And then we started watching the game, and he gets the pick six. We're going up to his house to watch the Bears game, and all of a sudden, Clinton Dix already has a pick six. So we're like, what the? And sorry, we're all up in arms right now. The Packers just scored a touchdown as we are recording right now, so we're not
reacting live.
Jimmy Graham, first touchdown of the season, I think.
Yeah,
Jimmy Graham, first touchdown in 3 years. It seems like that dude.
No, literally, he's
very
disappointing.
disappointing.
But nonetheless, lastly, Yash, do you have a shout out to give?
Yeah, big shout out to any fantasy owner will definitely back me up on this one. But my boy
Saquon?
Melvin Gordon.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say Saquon.
Well, no, fuck Saquon.
What do you mean? That's not his fault.
Saquon Ankley, I think his name is.
Saquon.
Get a stronger ankle, bud. But shout out Melvin Gordon. He could have held that shit out the whole year, like Le'Veon did last year. So shout out to him for not fucking me over in fantasy, and hopefully he does well.
Hey, you took the risk, buddy. You took the risk.
Yeah,
It might pay off.
Hopefully it pays off.
Rags yelling at his dogs. But
that's
nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be mostly talking about Bears Redskins tonight. Maybe a little other football stuff thrown in there, maybe some other stuff off the top of our head. I don't really know where it's going to go, but
it's a freestyle.
But let's jump into it.
All right, let's get into the Okay, we're back. That was our intro song right there. We're just trying
I love
it
it,
out.
dude.
I like the addition. I think it gets me nice and hyped before we get
We're still working on the sound effects, the sound bites, the music intros or whatever. I'm hoping within the next couple of months, once we can actually link up in person, we can maybe get some stuff done there, because I think it'll definitely enhance some stuff. But let's get right into the Bears Redskins game that happened on Monday Night Football.
Love it.
The Bears, obviously, they got the win, but it was a little shaky. It was a little shaky in the second half. Case Keenum and the Redskins offense were really pushing it down the field on us, and if not for a Danny Trevathan strip over the line on that 4th and 1, dude, that game could have been nail biting close. So it was a good performance by the Bears overall, but I just think they let their foot off the gas. I really did. Rags, what did you think?
It was got a lot more nerve-wracking than it needed to be, which really, really pissed me off, because I wish I wanted to just, once we were up 20-1.
Not as nerve-wracking as week 2.
I think it was 28-3 at halftime.
I know. It was once we were up 21 and then 28. I just was like, all right, I just want to have a comfy Bears game where I end the night. I'm like, dude, that was the shit. We just kicked ass, and I just wanted to be happy with it and everything. And they started coming back, and it really pissed me off. But honest to God, obviously Mitch can't throw that pick in the end zone.
Dude.
We'll talk more about
red zone picks, dude. That's the biggest thing for him, dude.
Yeah, you can't have those. But obviously, we'll talk about more Mitch's performance later. But I mean, if that doesn't happen, we win securely. But besides that, like the defense, I get they stopped him the first half and stuff, but I obviously like Mitch and the offense could have played a little better. I think they played honestly fine. Pretty good.
But it's the Redskins, though.
I'll talk about it later. But I think the reason I was close is I was starting to get pissed because our defense. I was a little getting pissed at Chuck Pagano for playing so lax for so often, because we're just letting. That's why games like the Lions game and Vikings games last year and stuff they look closer than they really were, because if we just let touchdowns up in the late end, like to come back, and I don't get it, but. Honest to God, I was really happy. I loved seeing our defense just creating endless turnovers. I mean, Khalil Mack would have had three or four strip sacks. It wasn't for 2 that got negated by penalty on like Prince and stuff.
And he had that other one where he knocked it away from Keenum on that sack, but he got the ball back. But obviously Khalil Mack was a force. Colin, what was your first thought? Sure. After watching that Bears game, or maybe even during it?
So, I'm going to go by a little piece by piece here, and I'm going to go ahead and say starting drive, field goal or not, whether we scored a touchdown or not, that first drive, I was very excited, and I'll tell you why. I think that the Bears offense has been struggling so much in week 1 and 2. To see them go out there, whether it was scripted plays from Nagy or not, I like the play calling. I like the execution of Mitch first drive. Whether they kept it going consistently, Mitch had 80%. I like that a lot throughout the full game. I mean, I think at half he had like 2 incompletions or 1 incompletion.
Yeah, I think it was 20 of 23.
I can't remember the last time I really saw that, other than maybe, I don't know, games like last season against Tampa Bay maybe, but that was a phenomenal performance for Mitch. Yeah, I mean, but you don't see it often, and for especially this year, Mitch, he was taking 2 steps back, it looked like. In this game, he definitely took 2 steps forward. So happy about that. As far as like you guys were talking about, mid-game, third quarter when things started to get a little nail biting. I mean, it happens. Bro. It's a long game. I knew from the start we were going to come out with a win, and I knew that we were the better team. One thing I do want to talk about, and you touched on it, Ben, that pick in the red zone. I was talking to somebody, and to me it seemed like we were running plays that were kind of like a little unnecessary. And we literally, I think in that red zone drive, we threw the ball 2 or 3 times in a row when I think we could have just pounded it in. Maybe Nagy was trying to inflate Mitch's stats a little bit, but that pick is unacceptable. Phenomenal catch by Josh Norman. But we need to work that stuff out. Luckily it's week 3, so we have a lot of time to work on that. But as far as the full game, I think we did well. A lot to improve on. Yeah,
definitely.
But I think that week 4 is going to be a great game. That's all I have to say. I think we're progressing every week.
Yeah. Yash, anything you want to add on the Bears game? Your first take or whatever?
On everything. I just tell me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like every game we played so far, their defense is so shockingly dominant. Well, I guess not shockingly, but just so dominant in the first half. And then they just seem to slack in the second half.
It's like they let out their foot off the gas.
They did, dude. They did.
I don't know what it is, whether it's like fatigue maybe or just like personnel getting tired and they don't really have the best backups. I don't know, but I think it's definitely led us into games where, like Ben said, they seem a lot closer than they actually are.
Yeah, 100%.
With the Redskins, it got a little closer than we expected it.
I mean, the thing is, you can say it was closer. It was closer than the score really seemed because obviously the Bears had a 25-point lead at halftime and everything. But I mean, the way Case Keenum, who is he throwing, dude? He's thrown to this guy named Jeremy Sprinkle, who's covering for Jordan Reed, who has concussions yet again. Terry McLaurin, the rookie, who's actually really good.
Terry.
But to see them moving the ball the way they did against us in the third quarter and early fourth, bro. I mean, that was just egregious. I was just like, what is going on right now? Like all you would do is drop back, take 2 steps, and there'd be somebody open right in the middle of the field. And I'm just like, how is this happening? Like I didn't even understand.
I've had a lot of concern the past 2 seasons, and I can't say a lot, but I've had concern about the secondary.
Yeah.
Our front seven, I mean, it helps our secondary. Probably. Okay. It helps our secondary immensely, and it makes our secondary probably look a lot better than it is. Mm-hmm. No shade thrown to Kyle Fuller. He's a Pro Bowl corner, going to be a Pro Bowl again.
Yeah.
Eddie Jackson may or may not be a Pro Bowler again, but I think he's still phenomenal, will be a Pro Bowler again at some point in his career. And I think that if you put any of those guys in another team, it'd be hard for me to see that they perform as well because of the Bears' front seven.
Oh,
when you're applying pressure to a quarterback like the Bears do, other than in the third quarter of week 3, I think that it's pretty tough for a quarterback to make accurate throws. And I think we saw that on both of Case Keenum's interceptions. He was pressured. He got flustered. Bro. He threw the ball in a place he shouldn't have. But our secondary, it's a team effort, especially on defense, but our secondary could use a lot of work. I don't know if it's play calling as far as when we're going man, when we're going zone from Chuck Pagano. I don't know if it's personnel, like Yash was saying.
Yeah.
But I think there's room for improvement. Luckily, it's week 3. I'm going to keep saying that. We have, a whole nother 12 games to be played, 13 games. And I'm excited, but I think as far as the secondary, there is room for improvement.
See, the thing that scares me a little bit is, in that second half, in that third quarter, we see them, not doing as great as we think they can. And that's Case Keenum, who is historically kind of a piece of garbage. So how are the Bears going to stack up against like a Mahomes or a Brady? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're coming. They're coming.
They're coming. They're there. They're coming. They're going to be there late season when we need to win games. And I feel like there's a chance they might just pick our defense apart, even if it's
Here's the thing I have to say about that.
We needed a good secondary.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I have to say about that. Yeah, I hate I don't like when people just say, oh, it's the Redskins, it's whatever. Good teams, here's what I have to say. Good teams beat when good teams have to play bad teams, it shouldn't be a detriment to them. Do they have to play to them? It's like, oh, they beat a bad team, so we can't judge it. It's like, yeah, I get that. It's not a good team, but at the same time, you have to say, like, well, if you're a good team, then prove you're a good team by kicking their ass. And the Bears' defense, besides some drives where they clearly were not putting their foot on the gas, dominated. And their offense, offense didn't have a lot of chances to do a lot of put together a lot of drives because they had such good field position the whole time. They played good too, and I don't think it should be taken away from them because it happens to be a bad team. Philadelphia and Dallas were praised for their play against the Redskins, and the Redskins were known as having coming into the season a pretty good defense. And I'm not saying they're still a good defense or whatever, and now the Bears play them that they're not. And that's the thing I also hate is that it's time and time again. Yes, sorry. The
Eagles touchdown, baby.
Let's go, baby.
And our boy Jordan.
Let's go. We're watching an interruption is needed for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, we are watching this live, so we're getting a little excited. But anyway, I hate that the national media, I don't know, it's national media, Bears, Twitter, whatever it is, that when the Bears beat a team, suddenly this team is like, oh, they're bad, or Mitch throws an overthrow. I get it, Mitch does throw a lot of overthrows, so we notice more, but I'm watching this game, and Carson Wentz throws a lot of overthrows too, and you're never going to hear a word about it. You're never going to hear a word about Pat Mahomes' overthrows, and I'm not comparing the two.